I took the NCLEX in September. So a few months ago, I took the NCLEX and I passed it with 75 questions. So here's how I did it. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm just gonna talk to you guys about how I passed the NCLEX with 75 questions. So if you're here, that means you're about to take the NCLEX, or you're in nursing school wondering how the NCLEX is, or whatever the reason may be. This video, I'm just gonna talk about ways that helped me, like what I used to study, and just how I passed the NCLEX. So I have a notebook where I wrote like most of my stuff. We're just gonna get into the video. So basically, I am now a registered nurse. I graduated, my last day of clinical was August 27th. My graduation was on September 27th. So we had like a whole month left out to just take a break, study, take the NCLEX, pass or fail, and then retake, whatever. So what I did was, on my last day of clinical, literally, I was like, I am tired. I need a break. So I took a 2-week vacation, and I came back on September, like mid-September. On the day that I was coming back on vacation was the day that I scheduled for my NCLEX. And I got the ATT, which is the attestation to test, on September 9th. So on September 9th was when I got my okay to test. And right when I got that, I started studying. So I studied from September 9th until like September 14th. So I had this big calendar that I like wrote everything on there, like when I'm gonna study and just like all these other things, like how what I'm gonna study. And I found that like to be unrealistic to what actually happened, because the first few days I was trying to follow the schedule that I made. It was so crazy. Like I think I wrote like study this book, read this book, do questions on this book, and like it was just so many things happening. So I used ATI and I used UWORLD to study, and I also used the Klinek videos on YouTube. I found that when I was doing the UWORLD questions, I had set it to like 75 questions. I set it to 75 questions, and I just did mostly med surg questions, because it was so many different, like if you've used UWorld, there's like, it has different subjects on there that you can go on, and you can pick which subject that you feel like you need to work on the most. And for me, I felt like I didn't really want to waste time on different subjects. I just wanted to do med surg because I majority is med surg questions. So that's what I did. I went on there and I set it to 75 questions, and I literally like try to do every day. I'll do 75 questions, and I found that it was taking me the whole day to just do 75 questions, because I was focusing on reading the rationale, which is what I recommend to do. So the rationale will give you literally everything. If you on UWorld, it's like if you get the question wrong or right, it tells you the reason why the other choices were not right, and the reason why your answer was right or wrong. So yeah, that's basically what I did. And I just like read through those, and I had to like change up my studying habits a little bit, because like I said, I was doing 75 questions in a day, and it was taking me the whole day to just do those 75 questions, because I was legit just reading all the rationales. My ring light, it keeps going off. It keeps going off. I don't know what to do. Like this is like the third time. So it was just taking me all day to do those questions, which, you know, it's okay because you're learning and you're reading, and most of the stuff on there, I really honestly probably forgot about it in nursing school. Like it was such a long time ago that when I saw some of those rationales on there, I was like, oh, okay, that's a good reminder, you know, because I completely forgot about it. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna just read the rationale as long as I'm doing the questions. But I had scheduled, so like I said, I got my attestation to test on the 9th, and I had scheduled to take the NCLEX on September 23rd, and I started studying 10 days before that. So that's why after a while of doing the UWorld questions, I think a few days of it, I was like, this is not gonna work, because I'm just like, I feel like I'm focused on one thing, and I really need to be looking at other things to combine and, you know, make sense of everything. So I did UWorld for a few days. I got the 1 month trial, but I literally only did it for like a few days, like maybe I think like 3 or 4 days. After that fourth day of doing UWorld, I started adding different things. So I was YouTubing everything, like researching like different ways to study without overwhelming myself. And that's how I found the Klinek videos. And I went on there, and it's like 12 videos and 12 audios on there. Like they're like an hour long audios. And literally I spent every day, I was just watching one or two of his videos like in a day. And then towards like the day when it got closer to my test day, like I think the week of my test day, I I was also working, so it just crazy. It was just crazy. So when I go to work, I would literally like, my job, I worked as a CNA, so my job, it was pretty laid back, chill. So I had this little room. I'll go in there if I'm not doing much, and I'll literally just sit in there and like watching his videos, and I'm taking notes. I'm literally watching everything, taking notes on everything that he's saying. And like the biggest thing I will tell you to focus on when you're watching when you're watching his or listening to his audios, the biggest thing I would say is that the prioritization video by Mark Klinek. If you don't get anything from studying, if you don't like, if literally like you take anything from this video, I would just say watch that prioritization video, listen to that prioritization audio that he has on there, because that video will probably help you a little bit more than I mean, it'll help you a lot, but his other videos will help as well. So I took notes on his videos, and then I also added the ATI CAT assessments or CAT assessments. So what that is basically like a mock NCLEX, and you go on there and you basically you're doing the questions. It starts off kind of like the NCLEX was. Like it'll give you like easier questions, then it gets harder. And the first time I took that, I think it stopped me at like 75 questions. And then the second time I took it a few days later, it went to like 200 and something questions. And I literally took 3 days to do it because it was just like so much. And I was like reading the rationales as well. And so it took me like 3 days to do those questions. And I did pretty decent. I think I got like a 50s on there, which is a 50 on the CAT assessment. That's pretty, good. I guess that's what they want you to score at, is in the 50s. And then the UWorld questions, when I was doing them randomly, I think I was scoring in like the 60s and the 50s. And that's really where they want you, that's the average percent that they want you to be scoring at. So after I did the CAT assessment, I did the UWorld, I did Mark Klinek videos. The UWorld, I took 5 tests of the MedSurg, 75 questions each, and that's how my average scores came up to like in the 50s and 60s. The medium score was 54, and I was getting like over, like, honestly, like it was hard questions. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I think I was getting like 51s, and I got a few 60s in there too, but for the most part, I was in the 50s in most of those UWorld questions. After I did the Mark Klinek videos, I just went through all the notes that I took, and I just reviewed those notes for 3 days. And 2 days before the exam, what I did was I met up with a friend, and we literally did a 12-hour NCLEX Cram study day. Like literally, I remember that day so vividly because I was so tired. We went in there at 1 p.m. in the conference room, and I didn't leave that area because she lived there. So we went in there at like 12-ish, 1 p.m., and we didn't leave until 1 a.m. in the morning. Literally all day, 2 days before the NCLEX, we crammed and studied every single thing. And I don't mean like everything, but mostly like the notes that we took from the videos, and we reviewed. So I have this, my school gave us this like nurse NCLEX Cram sheet or something like that, NCLEX Cram, and it has like everything like from 1 to like, I don't even know how many questions or not question, how many topics were there, like 1 to over 70 topics. And we literally just went through each one after reading the notes. Like we did the notes, we read it, we studied, and we tried to like memorize certain things that we needed to memorize. And then quiz each other. The biggest thing we focused on was like signs and symptoms of certain diseases. And yeah, so it took us like 12 hours to study for like review everything. So after that day, like literally, I'm not even joking, y'all. I was tired. I was tired. I was tired. Like I literally didn't get home until like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I was knocked. And then the day before the exam, all I did, I was trying not to stress myself and overwhelm myself and like just going crazy. So all I did was mostly just review the labs, because that was another big thing that you need to know on the NCLEX. So just review the labs, and then just went through like certain things that I was still having a hard time with, and just like review those a little bit. For the most part, I tried to just like chill out a bit and stop freaking out, but I was really freaking out. My exam day was September 23rd. I went in there, and I had the early morning, I think like 8 a.m. exam, early morning. And I went in there, and you did a whole check-in thing where they scan you and they like do like a pat down, like literally like you're going through security or something. So I just went in and I sat down and honestly just said a little prayer, I remember, and I just started taking the test. And the test was honestly like weird. I don't People have different opinions on it, so I don't really care to talk about. I don't really like want to go into the details of the test, because it's like everyone's gonna have different opinions on it, because I talked to all my friends before they took theirs, and they were all telling me different things. It's like, oh, it was so easy, it was so hard, like, and they all passed. Like, it's like everybody has their own opinions on it, because the test is really supposed to be modified to you personally. So for me personally, when I took it, I felt that it was really like just like weird questions. Like the questions were simple, but the answer choices were so detailed, to in my opinion. I didn't know how I was doing. Like I really honestly, I didn't know how I was doing on it. So I was just trying my best to just answer from what I know, and they gave me like weird questions like from funds, and funds is like the first few classes you take in nursing school. At least in my school, that was like the first class, the first few classes that we took in nursing school. So it's like thankfully, when I was studying, we reviewed that stuff, because if I some of it I really didn't like, I didn't review, but it came back a little bit just seeing what the answer choices were. So for me personally, the NCLEX was just like, it was weirdly detailed. Like the questions were asked in a weird way. The answer choices were in detail. And so that's just how I felt about it. So after question 40, I got up and I went to the bathroom, took a little break, and then I came back and I continued, and I was going through it, and I feel like the questions were just like, it was getting, in my opinion, I feel like it was getting a little hard. And then some of them were honestly simple questions, like I said, just weird answer choices. So after I took it, it got to like 74, and I was just like, like if it continues after these questions, it is what it is. That really wasn't my thing. Like when I went in it, I wasn't really like focused on like, oh, it's gonna like, I needed to stop me at 75. I really was not focused on that. I was just like, I think for us, since COVID is happening and whatever, so NCLEX had a limit of like 145 questions. So I was like, even if it takes me to 145, I still wouldn't feel that bad, because it's not 265 questions, and that's a lot of questions. Okay, that's a lot of questions. I just didn't want to sit there for that long, so I had 145 questions, and I was like, honestly, it's okay if it takes me there, as long as I pass. That's all that matters. So as I was taking it, it literally stopped me after that 74 questions. It stopped me at 75 exact, and it's just like the screen went blank. So I was just like looking around like, did I do good? I got up and I went to my car, and I was just sitting there like, trying to process everything, like what just happened. Did it just stop me at 75 questions? Because that could mean terrible news. Like being stopped at 75 questions is not always a good thing. So I was just like trying to put myself together, because I was freaking out. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't have any feelings like on how I did like that. Like it was just a weird exam for me, because I literally did not know how I did. So yeah, I went home, and the whole day I was just like trying to distract myself because I really wanted to know my results, but I didn't even know how to do that 2-day cheat thing. I'm just gonna not find out until I have to find out. And the day after, my friend calls me and she's like, "Hey, check the government website or whatever where you check your license." And I'm like, "Wait, did you pass?" And we took it on the same day, so I was just checked on there, and my name popped up as a registered nurse when I put my name, and I was just like, "What?" Like, y'all, you just have to know the feeling that I was going through, like. So I was just like so excited. I was so excited. I started screaming and I was like yelling and I was just like jumping up and down. Literally, like, oh my, it was the happiest day because I was just like, the stress is over. The stress is over. Like, I don't have to do schoolwork anymore. I'm done. Like, I'm literally like, man, chills. That was the best day. I was just happy. That's how I passed the NCLEX 2021. Recap of what I used: UWORLD, Klinek, or Klimek, I can never say his name right, and ATI CAT assessments. So that's what I use to study. And they tell you like it takes about 2 to 3 days to get results, but um they actually emailed me my results, like my license number and everything, without me checking and everything. I think they emailed me uh that Saturday because I took my exam on a Thursday. Yeah, so I took the exam on a Thursday and I didn't find out until Friday morning, but they actually emailed me the results Saturday morning. So it takes basically like 2 days to get your results. Not the results, but my license number and like everything. So that's how I passed the NCLEX in 75 questions, only studying for 10 days. So if I could do it, you guys can do it too. And let me tell you, I was an average student. I passed nursing school with all A's and B's, but I was, I'm not like the genius or whatever. I just know how I learn and I know what helps me learn and my study habits. So that's kind of what I used. I'm very visual. So if you're visual and you know that for yourself, definitely try to study in a visual way because that can help you a lot. So what I did throughout nursing school was just like, it takes me a long time to like understand certain things, and so I just was always on YouTube watching the visuals of how everything works, and that's really what helped me pass nursing school. Like, my professors were cool and all, but YouTube YouTube helped me pass because without YouTube, I don't know. I mean, YouTube and maybe Quizlet, but let me know down below if you're taking the NCLEX, when are you taking it, and if you already took it, how did you do? What was your opinion of it? Comment down below. How did you feel about it when you took it? And if you're still in nursing school, like, how far are you until you have to go and sit in that chair and take that crazy exam? It was really nice being on here again. I hope you guys continue to watch my videos. Yeah, now I'm a cardiac registered nurse. I'll make more videos on just like how being a new grad is, because I'm still a new grad, how being a new grad is going for me, and just like my daily life as a nurse. Let you guys in on my life as a new grad cardiac nurse. And I hope you guys continue to follow through and subscribe to my channel and comment down whatever you guys want to see on my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.